All right, well, anyone tuning in out there, hello, and here is our completed Pontiac G6 hardtop convertible Magic School Bus Derby car. Kind of a funny looking vehicle. So I was talking with my son Hudson, said, end of the school year, what's a paint design we could do to be kind of cool? And I said, what about a school bus? It's kind of long and elongated, the center of this car. So we went with the Magic School Bus. You can see my best attempt at eyes there in the front. The grill, we threw the Ford on there. My son says, why do you throw Ford on there? Our bus isn't a Ford. I don't remember what he said it was. And I said, well, I'm a Ford guy. And a lot of the guys I derby with, they're Chevy guys. So it's kind of not a jab, but kind of a little haha. I'm a Ford guy and proud of it. But came out pretty good. The yellow, I actually used all of my yellow to get her looking like this. Probably needed another coat, but the amount of time I already put into it, it's like, yeah, we're not going to do it anymore. That's good enough. So have the doors here in the side. Those are the Magic School Bus characters, or if you will, the kids that are part of the show. We had a saying on the hood there, okay bus, do your stuff. That's from the Magic School Bus. And then here in the back, these are our rocket ships, or rocket engines, I should say, as well in the bottom there as it kind of takes off on the show. And then take chances, make mistakes, get messy. That's what Ms. Frizzle, if I remember right, is her name. She often says. So thought it came out looking kind of cool. They have a pretty sweet, we're taking it to Father's Day Fury at Spartansburg. Pretty sweet Picasso, they call it, best paint Picasso trophy. So we're hoping we land one of those, especially the amount of time we put into it. But she is stock, so just to show under the hood again, first I kind of get it all ready to go derby wise, and then I kind of slap whatever paint job on. So again, the core support, if you saw the other video I had of this, kind of the build video, it is in front and it just had these two little hooks and it was not stable. I'm like, yeah, that one little bump in the front, which already this was in an accident or something, I'm like, that thing's gone. So it's just going to be a mess in there, likely rip out certainly the water hose, and I'm going to be running hotter quicker than I want. So we took that off pretty easy and then looped the with just an old radiator hose there, best I could. You can see it's not a perfect, if you were right here's a little pinch, but water's still flowing through there. And again, hopefully 10, 12, maybe 15 minutes, hopefully we're running out there having a good time. That will suffice. So put a little bit of cold water in her, and we'll top it off before we get there. And then same thing with the fresh smelling April scent detergent that all the guys, fabric softener I should say, that all the guys typically do around here. So again, the snorkel here, as I call it, that runs to the air, the throttle body, as well as the air box or your air filter, we cut off and just put the chicken wire on there. And then you can see was able to get the fuse box a little bit. It was right against the side. I took that out. There's a battery box, big plastic in here, bent it up and took it out. I was able to get that in. And then the computer, which again, I'm not really sure that I know is brakes. I think that's the computer. And then it had right here on the inside of the frame rail was, I don't know if it's for the transmission or what, but it's right there. So slid all that in, bunched the wires together that were up here, pulled them all inside the car. So you can see there's nothing outside the car. If you can do that, that's great. And then the good old foam spray gets hard and kind of expands and makes a little bit of a cushion, at least as much as it can be. So that's her up front. Again, just my typical chain. You can see here our lights for the bus, as well as Wahoo. It's like a Mario saying, I guess, but also it's on the Magic School Bus in the cartoon show. There's my stop sign, which was a lot harder than you'd think. And yeah, here again's our character. So inside, again, it's stock. So again, I pulled in from the trunk the fuse box that was back there. That is the motor, as well as kind of the system that runs the hard top. Again, here I bolted to the windshield part of the car, as well as the roof. It has a latch, and it's a permanent latch whenever it's locked, but put this on there in the middle as well as on the other side to make it a little bit more stable. And I asked the promoters in our area, and they're like, yeah, that would be a good idea, and we're fine with you running it. So just need to put a couple zip ties to secure that stuff down. See my tweezers and zip ties in there. But yeah, the trunk, it's kind of a unique shaped vehicle. The only thing we did back here, again, tried to get everything inside the car without disconnecting any wires or anything like that, because I just don't know enough about that stuff, so I don't mess with it. The amp there, just leaving there, and you can see not a big trunk. Press just a little bit up the trunk and beat just a little bit around the outside. Usually stock, they don't mind that at all, and hopefully that'll help the rear end, as you can see, not very big, but help it fold kind of up and into the rear axles, and then just kind of pounding the rear axles, and it's not really doing anything. It is a stock tank. The stock tank is well inside the axles here, and this thing is, again, stock, rusted. It's a 2000s. I'll have to look at the actual car. I can't remember the exact year. I think it's like mid-2000s Pontiac G6, and she's pretty rusted. So I'm like, yeah, it's a stock. You know, hopefully it runs for a while, but you never really know with these old cars. I think it's down a cylinder. It runs fairly well. You can see the guy I got it off of, he already took the catalytic converter off, so it's straight out of, in essence, the engine there. She's pretty loud and raspy, and but she gets the job done. And he kind of clipped a couple of those wires and different things there too. So that stuff I just left alone, and he had already did that. But yeah, inside again, just a good old Smith's Metalwork battery box. Love that thing. So simple. Just bolt it down with usually one or two. This one, the fuel lines are running right here, the fuel and brake line. So I put one there. I was able to get this one too. It's just inside of the fuel and brake line underneath. Again, running the stock line, so it's perfectly stable, and again, stock. That is more than enough. Put my foam cushions around it, put my top down, and she's good to go. Never had an issue with that the last year and a half now I've run it. I love that thing. So that is her. Again, pretty happy with how it came out. You never really know how well they run, but I'm like, hey, we can make it look cool, and you know, hopefully a kid or a family member too is like, hey, that's pretty sweet, and maybe get a best paint for it as well. So that is her. Hopefully we have some fun today. Spartansburg PA, Father's Day Fury, making junk promotion. They're putting it on, Perry and his crew, so hopefully we have some fun. We'll see.